Kisiuk Vishnam, Kisiuk Kukit, Kisiuk Quiet, Kapinishkish. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Kensuke Teshmiet, and welcome back to another wonderful Warrior Wednesday. This podcast, it's gonna be packed with some really good information, a tip that I recently actually learned. Funny, it was actually through an Instagram reel, and I really enjoyed the way I have set up my algorithms. There's usually motivational stuff. There'll be a couple dog things, animal things, one or two funny things, and then motivational stuff. And that's all my algorithms are on my Instagram reels. You know, good laughter, good medicine through animals, and knowledge. And this particular reel really sparked something in me. Because, you know, there are days where and I know you are the exact same way. There are some days where you just feel like you're on a roll. You know, when you feel good, you feel like everything's just moving along smoothly. You got that energy, you got that spark. You know, it's just everything's gliding good. And then there's sometimes you go to do that same thing and it's just not aligning. It's just nothing is working out. Nothing seems to work out. And it gets frustrating. And then there's times where you just don't want to do it. You know, there's some times where either I'm crafting or doing something, or going to the gym is a big one. There's sometimes I feel really energized, motivated to go. And then there's sometimes I'm just not connecting with the workouts. You know, I'm not really feeling it. And then there's times where I just do not have the energy. I don't. And I'm the person who doesn't like to use pre-workout very often. Most times I'll use pre-workout if I know I'm doing a heavier leg day, or if I'm gonna attempt to lift heavier in my deadlifts, just to give me that boost. But there are those days where I just am depleted of energy, and I have to take a pre-workout. It just needed to get me there, to get me, you know, disciplined to keep going. And it's in thirds. If you notice that these things are in threes. So if you start looking at life in thirds with anything, a third of the time you're gonna feel good. It's gonna go great. A third of the time, things aren't gonna line up. You know, you're just pushing against the grain. It's just, you know, there's a lot of friction going on. And then a third of the time, you just don't want to do it. When you realize that, hey, today I had a great workout. You know that soon enough, you're not going to feel it going. or soon enough it's just not going to line up. Or the same thing, vice versa. Say you're just having a crappy, just nothing's working out throughout the day. you're just fighting the grain. You're just going against the grain. It's just a lot of work that day. Well, if you look at thirds, hey, soon enough, I'm going to have a great day. Things are going to line up. Things are going to roll smoothly. Things are just going to click for me. And if you look at thirds, it makes things more, they seem like they're more possible. They don't seem overwhelming because that every storm will end. And that's, it's a really good way to look at life with anything. If you are working towards something, you want to do something, you have to look at it in thirds. Because even recently, like I just, I got discouraged, that self-talk comes up. And, you question yourself. And even with my content that I post, I questioned myself. I just wasn't feeling the vibes that I'm used to feeling when I post content. And I just didn't want to. I just didn't have that energy there. But I still pushed through it. And I still ended up posting some content and working on some stuff. And then I heard this. I was like, wow, now I just need to keep looking at situations that happen in threes, in thirds. And what day was it? It wasn't too long ago. It was the other day. It was Friday evening. I had a really, actually, sorry, no. It was last night. I just sometimes get my days mixed up. And last night, I had a late workout. And because I had a performance to do, we did a grand opening for a local business here in Vancouver, BC, for Salmon and Bannock. And they are in the YVR International hub. And then it's a very, very beautiful location. Like they have this nice waterfall. They got this little kind of creek looking thing running through the airport. They got these really nice fish swimming around this tank. And it honestly doesn't even feel like you're in the airport. Like that little section just feels like you're in a zen, like in a place where you could just relax and hang out. And yesterday, because of security clearance and things like that, we were literally there for 5 hours to do a 15-minute performance. And by the time I got out and home and changed and went to the gym, it was late. And I didn't want to do it. I honestly didn't want to work out. And, I just looked at that third. The third of the time, and this is my third, where I'm not going to feel good. Where I'm not going to want to go. It's late. I don't like working out late. It's still that new year, new me thing. So the gym is still pretty packed. It was pretty busy, but I went, and I felt good. I still, when I left, I felt good. I felt happy that I had that discipline to push through. And then today, when I went to the gym, it was like nothing. I had a good workout, everything lined up. It was pushing through to witness that sunshine. So if you because you're gonna struggle. It's just a part of life. When you start to struggle again, just remember that third rule. And it's really gonna change your life. I only discovered this like 2-3 weeks ago, and I've been starting to use that, and it's really helped. So I'm excited to. We did our performance, and I got to try out my new outfit, my new regalia, and there's a few things I have to work on. So it's nice that I have the time to be able to work on my outfit and get it all nice and set and just the way I like it. And there was a few things where I wasn't used to, and there was a few things that I was missing that I forgot, but it just felt good, you know. And it's been a blessing to be able to know how to work and use your hands. You know, that's one thing I'm super grateful for. And crafting takes a lot of energy out of you, because you're putting your energy into that. And there was a couple things I also just recently created. I recently made a pipe bag for a trade with another dancer down in the States for some stuff. And the same thing, you know, I put a lot of energy into creating this bag. It was Saturday night, a late workout I went to. I believe I went to the gym at like 8. And I don't really go to the gym that late. And the same thing, I just had zero energy. You know, I didn't feel good. But I knew with that 8 that if I pushed through, it would be good. And it was. So I don't know how you will, to remember to use this, but figure out a way how to incorporate thirds into your life. And I guarantee you that it's going to change your life. Because I do understand before I used to look at life kind of like seasons. You have your fall where things start to die. You have your winter time where the nights are long. It's cold. It's dark. There's not much sunlight out. And then you have your springtime where everything's starting to bloom. Things are coming out of hibernation. Animals, things are happening. The days are getting longer. And then you have your summer where it's warm, it's hot, the days are long, it's beautiful. You can go to the beach, the lake, whatever, right? And that's the way I used to look at it. But when you look at things at thirds, it just breaks it down that much quicker. Just to realize that turnover back to that great moment will happen a lot quicker. And it always does. If you sit back and think on things and just ponder, I bet you can find that if you looked at thirds, you would understand that, hey, that is true. I do have a third of the time good days, a third of the time hard days, and then the third of the time I just don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this. I don't want, it's just human nature. It's just human beings. We can't always be positive. We can't always be uplifting. We can't always be motivated. We have to have that balance. Everything has to have balance. Too much of anything is bad for you. Anything, no matter what it is. You always have to have that night and day, the opposites. So I challenge you to take a look and just look at life on those thirds and start to look at life on those thirds. And it's going to change your life drastically. So, with that, I'm going to end this podcast. Sukini, Dagas, thank you for tuning in. I'm truly grateful that you come back week to week to check in and to invest in yourself, because that is the best investment you could do with anything in life, is investing in yourself. So I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care, all my wealthy warriors, and remember, everything always happens for the right reasons. Take care.